My story starts way back in Germany and in Africa in the 1930s when my mother and her family fled Nazi Germany in 1938, ended up in southern Africa. Fast forward a couple of decades, my mum married my dad, who was a white Catholic South African, so I grew up Catholic and Jewish, had an experience of God. As a teenager, ended up as an Anglican, came to Australia, and I've been an Anglican pastor for 30 years.
But there's a wonderful movie in that.
It's going to be a horror movie or a comedy. We haven't worked out which yet. That's right. So like many people, I watched the events of October 7th unfold, so almost live on Twitter, and was just in a state of shock. On the morning of the 9th, so the Monday morning, the blood hadn't yet dried in southern Israel. They're still chasing terrorists around, and the IDF hadn't gone into Gaza yet. There was nothing to protest against except the existence of the State of Israel, and to show support for a terror organization. So I called up the police, Central Command in Sydney, and I said, I'm an Anglican minister, I've heard this rally's happening, it's unauthorized, I'm planning to organize a counter-protest. And they said, well, Mr. Leach, we are encouraging the Jewish people, the Jewish community, to stay out of the city center for their own safety. We can't guarantee your safety if you come in, and if you do come in and try and do anything, we'll arrest you in order to prevent a breach of the peace. So I thought that was appalling. So I put on a clerical shirt and I wrapped up an Israeli flag in my squash bag, and I stood on the steps of the Anglican Cathedral in Sydney, which is directly opposite the town hall, and in the square between the town hall and the cathedral is where these rallies all start. And I watched them start, and it was just, the atmosphere was just full of hatred, just so thick with hatred of Israel and of Jewish people. So I took out my flag and I stood on the steps of the cathedral and I waved an Israeli flag, and I wanted to take a stand for Australia, to say, at this time, we cannot give control of the center of our city to a group of jihadists supporting, rapists supporting, terrorists supporting people who want to drive the Jews out of the center of Sydney and occupy it for their support of what happened on October the 7th. It was just appalling. So I waved the flag, 1,000 eyes turned on me, a bunch of keffiyeh-wrapped thugs sort of chased me out of the square. I beat a hasty retreat and then ran up Bathurst Street and hid behind a police van up on George Street while the police dispersed the sort of 15 or 20 or so thugs who were chasing me. And that changed everything for me, because it became clear to me then, and in the aftermath of it, as we saw that rally then unfold, they went down to the Opera House, they burned Israeli flags, they had a horrific chance, it made them international news. But our government let it happen. They kept the Jews out, and they gave the center of our city over to a bunch of thugs. And I thought, you know what, we have to mobilize